Hello and welcome to all the films I watched in the month of December. I watched some Christmassy films, but not too many. I still wanted to keep the variety pretty wide. This was a month I watched quite a lot of films to try and reach my 100 films in a year goal. Now, this isn't the first film that I watched, but it's a film that was on everybody's lips, and I saw it a couple of days ago, and I need to talk about it. It was Marty Supreme. The marketing for this film was insane. From Timothy Chalamet giving Susan Boyle a windbreaker to on like talk shows, to massive ping pong head people interviews with Timothy Chalamet, the SD Kid song. I gave this film 5 stars and it's S tier. Now, as someone who doesn't normally like Timothy Chalamet, I adored this film. Was it kind of just someone shouting for a couple of hours? Yes, but in the best way. In the best way. This film was as much about ping pong as Challenges was about tennis. I was scared it wasn't going to live up to the hype because there was so much hype on all this marketing that I thought it was going to fall flat, but it didn't. I really enjoyed it. I've seen a few people compare it to Whiplash. I can see how you see the similarities between like Whiplash and Mighty Supreme, The Pursuit of Greatness. Timothy Chalamet in this film is his character one of the most unlikable people ever. 100%. The soundtrack for this film was absolutely incredible as well. The music during the ping pong matches, absolutely fantastic. I've seen a few people say that like this film is like pro America. I can see how you could see that, but to me it wasn't that at all. I really enjoyed it, and I can understand where you'd come from that point of view because it's set in like the 50s, set in the 50s, which is obviously like a massive time for the American dream post-war. It's very hustle culture, and you can see it tying into kind of like the modern day equivalents of that. You've got like your Andrew Tate grind set kind of vibes. If you were inspired by Marty Mauser in this film and you want to be like him, that is concerning. If anything, this film has inspired me to be absolutely nothing like him. Overall, highly, highly recommend this film, and I highly recommend if you get the chance to go and see it in the cinema, please do, on the big screen and with proper sound and stuff. It was absolutely fantastic. I can't recommend it enough. The next film that I watched The Holdovers. Guys, it's another S tier film. December started so strong for me. It's 5 stars, it's S tier. I loved this film. It was like Dead Poets Society, but Christmassy, and I absolutely adored Dead Poets Society. It's melancholic and it's sad, but in the best way, and it's just so cathartic, and so many big words from Faith today. Hey, to me, it's a new Christmas classic. I think Dominic Sessa in this film is incredible, and Paul, I can't remember his last name, the Paul guy, he's also in Saving Private Ryan, and I can't remember anything after that. Paul Giamatti, Davine, is it Divine or Davine? Divine Joy Randolph. That woman, so good. Unreal casting. Absolutely unreal casting. Without those three, I think this film would have been something very, very different. The next film that I watched, it was a rewatch, but it's December, it's got to be done. It's Muppet Christmas Carol. It's 5 stars, it's S tier. It's everything you could want and more. I love that this film is the first film that Michael Caine sung in. If anything's going to make you sing, it's Jim Henson, hey. My only takeaway to add from rewatching it is the first ghost, the ghost of Christmas Past. She kind of looks a bit like a poached egg. Like, you know, when you've added it into the water and it starts to go like white around the edges? She looks like a poached egg. The next film that I watched was less so a film, more a Christmas special. I watched A Nonsense Christmas with Sabrina Carpenter. It wasn't the best. It wasn't the best. I don't know if it's just because I don't really get American talk show style humour and I find it a bit irritating. But for me, this was 1 star and I'm putting it in D tier. I wouldn't recommend it at all, to be honest. Like, her outfits, fantastic. The singing, fantastic. Shania Twain's in it. But the bits in between irked me so much that I actively dislike this now. The next film that I watched, less Christmassy, I watched Saving Private Ryan. Now, I've seen this film before, but in chunks. I've never sat and actually watched it as a whole, and it is long, but it's an epic. It's Spielberg. It's going to be long. But I gave it 4 stars, and it's A tier. To me, the opening, sort of like first half an hour of D-Day, is one of the best depictions in a war film. It's incredible. But overall, it does start to drag towards the end of the film, and I did get a bit bored. I just don't know if Matt Damon was worth it, to be honest. The next film that I watched was Secretary. I had been recommended this so much, like it's always all over my social media, so I had very high hopes. However, it was 3 stars, and I'm putting it in A tier. To me, this was girl interrupted but sexy. I should have checked it myself for trigger warnings. It's my own fault. But I found this film incredibly triggering. It was not a great evening. Not a great evening, that one. If you're upset by like impatient or self-harm or anything like that, stay clear. Stay clear. I thought that it was very mid aside from that as well. Like it was, yeah, it was a bit raunchy and a bit seedy, but it was nothing groundbreaking, and I just couldn't get past all the horrible parts of the main character's mental health throughout it. It tainted it for me. I'm not watching it again, and I wouldn't really recommend it, to be honest. I can understand how some people think it's a masterpiece and really like it, but it just was not for me. The next film that I watched Wake Up Dead Man, which is the new film in the Knives Out cinematic universe. I gave this one 3 stars. To me, it was better than Glass Onion, but it wasn't as good as Knives Out. I really appreciated Josh O'Connor joining the Hot Priest cinematic universe. Now there is him and Andrew Scott. Andrew Scott's also in this film, and he was okay. I don't know if it's just because my attention span is so fried, but I did find it got a bit long towards the end. I did really appreciate at the end credits, there's like paintings of all of the characters. These are done by an artist that they commissioned called Natalie Waite, I believe, rather than just using AI slop. We love seeing artists actually getting paid and commissioned for work still, in this absolutely terrifying time. Overall, I put it in B tier. It was fine. It's nothing groundbreaking, but I'd watch it. The next film that I watched was Blue Jean. This is 5 stars. It's S tier. It's so good. It kind of gave me Billy Elliot vibes. I don't know if it's just because it's set at a similar time period, also set in Teesside, also set kind of in a school. I don't know if that's just why it gave me Billy Elliot vibes. It's about a PE teacher who's also a lesbian, and it's in the 80s, so it's got all your Section 28, Margaret Thatcher, horrible bad times. It's another film with Blue Monday, and I'm yet to find a bad film with Blue Monday, and I can't recommend this film enough. It was so beautiful. The next film that I watched was Last Christmas. Now, to me, this was just a bang average rom-com. I gave it 2.5 stars. I'm putting it in B tier, I think. And I wasn't that bothered on it. I thought the twist at the end was ridiculous, and I thought it was a bit silly. If you want a Christmassy rom-com, just watch The Holiday. I'd recommend that. I know a lot of people absolutely love this film, but for me, it just didn't hit the mark. I was a bit bored, to be honest. The next 2 films that I watched, which are kind of 2 films, kind of one, it's Kill Bill Volume 1 and 2 by Tarantino. Arguably the best Tarantino I've watched so far. I'm usually a Tarantino hater. I find his work just very style over substance. Really appreciated Uma Thurman on a yellow Kawasaki in a matching yellow tracksuit and fighting, is it 88 or 66? The Crazy 88 or Crazy 66? The Crazy insert number army. I do think it's good that they made him make it into 2 films, because if it had been 1 film, it would have been an absolute mammoth. An absolute mammoth. I wasn't crazy on how it was like broken up into chapters. I thought the title screens for the chapters were boring. Apologies for the change in setup. This camera has cut out 4 times since I started recording, and the battery's died once, and I'm getting irate. Anyway, as I think I was on about Kill Bill, it's alright. It's not my favourite, but as far as I like Tarantino's, this was my favourite one I've watched so far, and I'm going to put it in B tier. The next film that I watched Catch Me If You Can with Leonardo DiCaprio and Tom Hanks. I gave this 4 stars. I'm going to put it in A tier. I quite like this film. It was very comforting. It was a very easy watch. Stylistically, it was nothing groundbreaking, but it was very plot heavy. It was a very good plot. Very good pacing. It's about a con man and he's being chased by a detective who is played by Tom Hanks. Um, as someone who's not the biggest Leonardo DiCaprio fan, I actually really enjoyed this film, so I'd recommend it. It's pretty good. The next one that I watched, how I hadn't watched this film yet, I don't know. It's Carrie. I gave it 4 stars, and I'm going to put Carrie in A tier. One of my favourite films is Pearl, so of course I was going to love Carrie. You can definitely tell Carrie has inspired so many more modern horror films and thriller films going forward. It's obviously based off the Stephen King book. Honestly, this film's a pretty honest reaction to starting your period, gaining telekinetic powers, and going crazy at your prom. So valid. John Travolta's in this film. That was a little jump scare for me there. The only bit I did not like in Carrie is when they go and get the pig's blood to throw over her. I was not crazy on that. But overall, it's such a great film, and I feel like I might do Carrie next year for Halloween. I think that would be a great costume. The next film that I watched is possibly the worst film I have ever watched. It's down there. What Women Want with Mel Gibson. I gave this 1 star. It's D tier. There was a glimmer of hope. This film is made by a woman, so I thought maybe it'll be good. It wasn't. Absolutely not. Oh my god! I'll tell you what women want. Not this bloody film. Or Mel Gibson. Oh my god! They really thought they cooked with this one. They thought it was groundbreaking. They thought it was woke. They thought, wow, this is so forward think. It just fell so flat. It's so bad. Don't waste your time. Next one that I watched was a rewatch. I watched Paddington 2. It's 5 stars and it's S tier, obviously. I watched this at Christmas with my partner's family as they hadn't seen it, and oh, it's so good. It's just so beautiful and comforting. It's like a warm hug in a film. It kind of gives Wes Anderson vibes, and I love that, like how the prison's decorated and stuff. It's so great. And I'm not the biggest Hugh Grant fan, but I love Hugh Grant in this film. I think he plays such a good villain. I adore this film. I want the house. I want Mrs. Brown's wardrobe. That's everything that I've watched in December. I've now made a video every month this year, rounding up what I've watched, and I hope you've really enjoyed watching them. I've really enjoyed making them, and I can't wait in a couple of years to be able to look back and see what I'd watched and what I thought, if I can stand the sound of my own voice then. I've now also watched 100 films in a year, so my magnum opus of tier ranking those will be coming soon. I cannot tell you when. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Not too many Christmassy films, but a couple in there. And let me know what's been your favourite film of the year, whether that's a new film, a rewatch, or just something you haven't seen before. Let me know what your favourite film has been. I still can't choose mine. I've got my top 10 ish. I still can't decide. But I really hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you have a lovely new year and that 2026 is kind to you. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and I hope you have a lovely rest of your day.